I guess we'll start with the first one on the list, which is Atlanta versus Motagua. So Atlanta take on Motagua of Honduras, which have been one of the most successful Honduran clubs over the past few years, making four CONCACAF Champions League appearances in their history, most recently in 2018. Right now, as of last week, they were top of their table, um, and they made it to this thing called the CONCACAF League, which is like the NIT for the CONCACAF Champions League. So essentially, what it is it's like you play a tournament, and it's the winner gets an automatic bid to CONCACAF Champions League. But it's a way for the smaller teams to get in, so it's not just the same Saprisas, the same Leones, the same the big clubs that always are in it and always win it. Um, it's not just a tournament like that. So they made it to the finals of that league or that tournament, and they lost 1-0 on aggregate to Saprissa, which is the Costa Rican powerhouse. And they qualified kind of through that. I think they honestly, I don't know how they qualified. They qualified through Honduras, but I think there was a way that they could have qualified through CONCACAF League as well. Um, so they had a top scorer from last year named Rubio Castillo, but they transferred him out to CD Tondela in Portugal, and that's all the information I was able to find on them. Anything I missed from you?
No, the only thing I got from doing all this research is that CONCACAF and this whole Champions League competition makes no sense.
Yes.
There are too many ways to qualify. It's just weird.
Um, let's do a quick Google search. How did Motagua qualify for Champions League?
If Google doesn't know, then no one knows.
Oh, well, of course it'll take you to Wikipedia,
Good.
and I have literally nothing.
Okay, cool.
Um,
Yeah, this whole competition, I don't understand.
yeah.
It's not every MLS team. It's a handful of either South American teams, some I've heard of, some that I couldn't tell you a single thing about if I wasn't doing this podcast. Um, the MLS fan in me obviously will say the MLS teams will win all of these matchups. However, I've seen enough MLS to know that's definitely not the case, and these teams will somehow blow it to teams I've never heard of.
So Doug Robertson, who is the beat writer for Atlanta United, says that Motagua qualified by finishing as the runners-up in the CONCACAF League. So I was right. That is how they qualified. Um, Atlanta United qualifies by winning the U.S. Open Cup, which we all know they did against the Mighty Loons, which
Hmm.
was heartbreaking. I would love to see the Loons in CONCACAF Champions League, but they it seems like it'll be a brutal draw. It was this round not so much. Um, However, if they beat Motagua, which I think they will, and we'll talk about predictions in a second, they're very likely to face Club America, which anybody who knows Mexican football knows that Club America is one of the powerhouses of Mexican football. So they got stuck on a weird side of a bracket, which sucks to be them, I guess. Again, I don't ever hate seeing Atlanta lose. So um, my prediction, first prediction ever, with all the new pieces that Atlanta brought in. I think they still have enough to get it done. Josef Martinez is Josef Martinez after all. I say Atlanta advances 4-2 on aggregate.
Yeah, I think that if this was a different MLS team, and obviously there aren't that many in this competition because this tournament makes no sense. I think Atlanta is the one team that is able to handle playing in Club America, and that's obviously assuming they get past Motagua, which I mean I have to assume that they will.
All right.
Um,
So what is your official prediction then?
I'm gonna go 5-1 on aggregate. I think they
Ooh, big
have
one.
I think they have enough talent going forward, like we said. I think the new additions, this will be a good kind of extra little preseason, not preseason game, but an extra little 90 minutes under their belt to gel, to get used to playing with their teammates and learn kind of the Atlanta system. And I think their back line, especially now with Brooks Lennon, comes in, and I think they do the job pretty easily and get in, get out.
Yeah, like I said, I think the biggest thing for them is going to be able to survive going down to Honduras. That's never an easy thing to do. I mean, U.S. couldn't win at Trinidad, so anytime going away to just a weird place, right? Like some place nobody's really used to playing. Especially after playing at Mercedes-Benz and then going to a stadium in Honduras that's probably not nearly as nice. Um, if they can get out of there, um, get an away goal, even if it's a 1-1 um, score line, I think they can go into Mercedes-Benz and um, just crush it.
Yeah, I think the exact opposite thing is Motagua going into Mercedes-Benz. I mean, I obviously don't know what the Motagua Stadium looks like. I have to assume it's nothing like Mercedes-Benz in terms of size and quality. But I think Atlanta in that home match just play them off the park, assuming they pull out a full strength lineup at that point.
Right. So I guess for that we made our first predictions. That is a milestone in this podcast. Very exciting. Very exciting.